Welcome, everyone, to the NoDQ.com live recap of Monday Night Raw for June 16th, 2025. I got the hiccups. We're live, pal. I got the hiccups. This is going to be a fun one. We have the Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank already happened. See, the hiccups have screwed me over already. I am totally thrown off my game. We have Night of Champions coming up. We have the King of the Ring tournament coming up. We have Saturday night's main event coming up. We have so much going on in the world of WWE right now. Let's talk about Monday Night Raw. We opened up the show with Corey Graves filling in for Pat McAfee. 2 weeks in a row, no McAfee. What's up with that? Where is he? What's he doing? Corey Graves is back, at least for this week. That's fine. I like the team of Michael Cole and Corey Graves. We opened up our first promo of the show with Liv Morgan, along with Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Now, Liv said in regards to Nikki Bella that nobody paved the way for Liv, especially Nikki. Liv called herself the greatest women's tag team champion of all time, and she is demanding respect. She wants her rematch for the women's championship. This led to Io Sky coming out to the ring. Io Sky, of course, the women's champion. Io, she said that Liv disrespected herself and Nikki Bella. Io wanted to fight. Liv said that Io should hand over the title. So what Io did was she threw the title at Liv, drop kicked her, and then took a shot at Dominic for good measure. So they teased Liv Morgan versus Io Sky in a women's title match, but was not confirmed on this show. And unfortunately, we don't know when that match will actually take place. More on that in just a little bit. Dominic was booed quite a lot, but also cheered by some of the fans. I'm still waiting for the babyface turn from Dominic. Solid opening to the show. We had our first match of the evening, which was a fatal four-way match. We had Stephanie Vaquer versus Raquel versus Ivy Nile and Asuka. Asuka was officially back after being injured for over a year. She looked to be in very good shape. She has her old music, her old CFO music, which I'm very happy about. Actually, her Def Rebel theme was not the worst, I have to say. There are definitely worse ones out there, but anytime we can get the old CFO's music back, I'm all for it. We had a good match here with these four. A few of the highlights. Stephanie did the devil's kiss to Raquel on the apron, and the crowd was counting to 10. So maybe they'll be doing that now instead of the Booker T noise. And then we had Raquel hoisting up Ivy and Stephanie on her shoulders, and Asuka came off the top rope with a drop kick to both of them. Then Asuka went at it with Stephanie for a while, and then Raquel came back in, hit the Tejana bomb to Stephanie, but then Rhea Ripley showed up, pulled Raquel out of the ring, gave her the riptide on the floor, and then Asuka was able to pin Raquel and score the 1-2-3 victory. I'm not really surprised here that Asuka won. This was her first match back. I figured she would probably win this one. We had the interference, which is really being overdone in these triple threats and four ways. I feel like they've been doing this for the past month now, where we have these matches with no DQ and then somebody interferes and costs somebody the match. I really do think they're relying on that too much, but that's just my opinion. After the match, Asuka cut a little promo. She said the fire is still alive in her and nobody is ready for Asuka. She officially advances in the Queen of the Ring tournament. Great to see her back. We had Gunther, the new World Heavyweight Champion, coming to the ring for a promo. He had his pyro. He celebrated his victory by saying that Jey Uso was the better man at WrestleMania, but that was just one night. And beyond that, Gunther said he is untouchable. And he's been hearing online chatter about what's next. We got the Goldberg chants, and he said, definitely not that guy. He then started to turn his attention to Seth Rollins. But then, sure enough, Goldberg's music hits, and the man himself, Whisker Biscuit, came out there. And say what you will about Goldberg, but he got a big pop on the show. There's a reason why Goldberg still gets brought back to WWE, because the crowd, the live crowds at least, love the guy. The internet seems to hate him. And look, I'm a little nervous about this match. Goldberg just walked to the ring and he was sweating bullets by the time he got into that ring. Makes me wonder how much gas he has in that tank, but he came in there. He cut a solid promo here. He said that a few months ago, more like 7 or 8 months ago, Gunther started this with Goldberg's family, and now Goldberg is going to end it. It started in Atlanta, and it is going to end in Atlanta. He officially challenged Gunther to a match at Saturday night's main event. He said Gunther's next, and then very quickly we had the confirmation that Bill Goldberg will challenge Gunther for the World Championship. They had the graphic ready to go right away. I always think this is a bit lame when companies do this. Like, you have the graphic right there as if the whole thing is scripted. Like, come on. At least make it feel like something unpredictable happened. I don't know. But yes, it is official. Gunther versus Goldberg in what appears to be Goldberg's final match. It probably won't be more than 5 minutes. I would be shocked if it is. And I think Gunther will beat Goldberg. But the fact that people are just worried about it, and it's in the back of their mind, well, what if Goldberg wins? Remember, Goldberg beat The Fiend at one point. I think it'll make for a fun atmosphere. I'm looking forward to it. Mr. Tito wants Goldberg to win. He doesn't like Gunther. So there you go. We had AJ Styles one-on-one with JD Mcdana. Crowd was into AJ Styles. Typical match here where you had Finn Balor out there. Actually, not Finn Balor, excuse me. Dominic was out there. Dominic interfered. AJ, stupid babyface, chased after Dominic. JD took advantage. Why is AJ one of the stupidest baby faces of all time? He's always getting distracted, and I still think to when Nakamura gave him all those low blows and he never wore a cup, AJ is always getting manipulated by the heels. Like, they always outsmart the guy. But Styles was able to avoid further interference from Dominic, and he did eventually pick up the win over JD with the Styles Clash. And then Dominic attempted a cheap shot, but you had Styles fighting back, and then Styles went for the forearm, the phenomenal forearm, but Finn Balor then showed up and saved Dominic, pulled Dominic to the outside, and then Judgment Day tried to surround the ring to get AJ Styles, but he managed to slip out of the ring and get away from them. So AJ Styles picks up a win, and he left with the championship, Dominic's Intercontinental title, which I remember back in the day, wrestlers would steal the title and the heel would be pissed off. Dominic acted like he did not really give a damn that Styles was leaving with his championship. And the announcers acted like it wasn't a big deal. So I guess it wasn't scripted, but man, like they could have made this an interesting angle. Like AJ steals the title and Dominic is furious and Michael Cole and Corey Graves are freaking out. And yeah, they didn't really capitalize on that. And then backstage, Styles just hands the title back over to Nick Aldis, who's the SmackDown general manager. And they did confirm at Night of Champions it will be Styles challenging Dominic for the IC championship. Should be a good match. Bayley came to the ring. She talked about how it was amazing to be back. She said she's not taking the chance and the singing for granted. She was born to do this, but she brought up how she was robbed of her WrestleMania match. She used to, actually, never mind. I'm jumping ahead here. She said what Becky Lynch did to her made her stronger, and she's coming straight for Becky. She's going to take everything that Becky took from her. She called out Becky, and then Becky came to the ring wearing a green, I'm not the sports guy. I think it was Chicago Bears. Correct me if I'm wrong. And they're rivals with Green Bay, Wisconsin. So she was wearing the Chicago Bears jacket to get the heel heat. And she said that her and Bayley were never meant to be at the top. And Bayley just accepted being second while Becky wanted to be number one. Bayley wanted to be second, just like the Packers. She said she used to fight for the people, but they stopped fighting for her. Becky said that the same thing happened with Bayley. They don't care about her. They didn't care when Becky took Bayley's spot at WrestleMania. Bayley responded by saying that Becky is insecure and had to be a surprise at WrestleMania, so she took out Bayley, and that she asked Becky if Becky remembered having to actually fight for a spot on the card. And Becky responded by asking if Bayley remembered what gold felt like. And Becky said that Bayley could have a match, just not for the title. And she tried to take a cheap shot. Bayley, though, got the best of her, and Becky fled. It was a solid segment here. I mean, I think it was better than the Lyra and Becky segments. Now, speaking of Lyra, backstage, it was confirmed that Bayley will get a match with Becky for the title next week on Monday Night Raw, which is very interesting that they're doing this match on Raw next week. But there's a little bit of an angle here because Lyra was backstage and she wasn't too happy. Apparently, Bayley hasn't been returning phone calls or texts. Bayley's been busy, and Lyra said if Becky wins the title, Lyra might have to do what's best for her. So they're planting the seeds that we might get a triple threat match or a Lyra heel turn at some point. Maybe Becky and Lyra align as heels against Bayley. I guess we'll have to see what happens with that. I feel like we could get a triple threat, though, at Evolution. I definitely suspect shenanigans with Lyra on next week's show. Then Jey Uso was interviewed about the main event. He said that him and Gunther will run it back at some point. He plans on winning King of the Ring. And then we had Kairi Sane versus Liv Morgan. Now, this match went on for about a minute or so. Liv ended up getting hurt very early in this match. She rolled out of the ring. The cameras stopped shooting her. We didn't see her. We went to commercial break. When we came back, they showed footage of her appearing to hurt her shoulder, and they did confirm that she suffered an apparent dislocated shoulder. It sucks. It's really bad because first of all, she could be out for a long time. Second, it could affect several of the storylines. She was involved in the Nikki Bella storyline, and then they were teasing a storyline with Io Sky for the championship. So it just depends how bad the dislocated shoulder is. Like, maybe she's out for several weeks, but she could be out several months, depending on how severe it is. Very unfortunate. It really sucks because she's been doing some great stuff, and she's been a real focal point. And on top of that, she is one half of the women's tag team champions. So the titles are truly cursed. If she's out for several months and they have to relinquish the titles again, like, how many times has that been now with those women's tag team titles? I mean, that would be terrible for the titles as well. Just very unfortunate. I suppose they could have Roxanne take Liv Morgan's spot as tag team champion. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it's not too severe and Liv will be back sooner than later. Building Nexus sent in a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. Says, maybe Roxanne replaces Liv as the tag champion and then loses them. Well, that is something they can do. They could come up with that storyline where Roxanne fills in and then ends up losing the titles, and Liv's pissed off about that. They could take a negative and turn it into a positive. So we'll see what happens coming up here in the next few weeks. We also had a Sami Zayn promo backstage. Sami Zayn talked about King of the Ring, and then he was confronted once again by Karrion Kross. And Kross once again saying that Zayn is too nice of a guy. It's the definition of insanity, doing the same thing over again, expecting different results. Kross said Zayn is going to lose because he won't change his attitude. Zayn had enough of Kross, and he said that once he gets done with King of the Ring, he wants a match with Karrion Kross. We'll see what happens with that in the coming weeks. Then we had our main event of the evening, Sheamus versus Jey Uso versus Rusev versus Bronson Reed. Big Bronson Reed. This was a really good main event. I enjoyed this match. Very, very fun match to watch. Meaty men doing meaty things to each other, beating each other up. And then Jey in there getting into the mix. The crowd really enjoyed when Sheamus and Rusev were in there. They were doing the dueling chants, let's go Sheamus, Rusev Day. So yeah, when these guys have the one-on-one match, that will be a lot of fun. And then Bronson Reed came in, broke their fight up with the splash in the corner. He came off the top with the tsunami to Sheamus. Jey broke up the pin. Then Jey hit the spear to Bronson Reed, but then Braun Breaker showed up and he knocked Jey off the top rope. Then Sami Zayn ran out there and attacked Braun, but Braun got the upper hand. He threw Sami Zayn over the announce table. Then Penta showed up with a dive to Braun Breaker. Then Bronson Reed went for the tsunami, but LA Knight showed up, knocked Reed off the top, and then Jey Uso hit the spear, followed by two splashes off the top, and got the 1-2-3 victory. So Jey Uso officially advances, and he will face Cody Rhodes next week in the semifinal. After the match was over, Seth Rollins stormed down to the ring. He was ready to fight. He had a face-off with Cody. And the crowd was very much into this tease. They were chanting, holy shit. But then Rollins backed off. He walked away. Cody turned over towards turned over to Jey Uso, and they shook hands. Raw went off the air to set up the Cody Rhodes versus Jey Uso match. Cody was very over. The crowd was singing his song and doing the Cody Rhodes chant / singing. It was a really strong end to the show. The only negative for me is that, again, they're over relying on the interference in these four ways. They were doing it with the triple threats and now the four ways. Every match, you got somebody costing somebody the match. A little predictable in that sense, but I thought the execution here was well done with Jay winning. You set up Cody versus Jay for next week. That's a big one. And then you set up a potential Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins match at some point. I really liked the last match and segment of the show. And I don't have a problem with the baby faces in the semifinal. I think that's cool that they're doing that. I do think we are going to get Cody Rhodes versus Sami Zayn in the final. That is still my prediction. I mean, it could be Jay. Maybe they go with Jay versus Gunther one more time at SummerSlam. But I'd like to see Sami Zayn get the win. I mean, I really think Sami Zayn versus Gunther would be a great match. And I don't see Cody losing on Raw. Like, if Cody's going to lose, I feel like it'll be at Night of Champions. If Cody even does lose, for all we know, Cody could win the whole thing. Randy Orton's not going to win. I suspect Randy Orton will put over Sami Zayn on SmackDown, and Sami Zayn will advance. I feel like Sami Zayn's got to be in it since Night of Champions is in Saudi Arabia. So I'm sticking with it. Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn will be the final for Night of Champions. And I don't know if Karrion Kross, I really hope Karrion Kross doesn't interfere again. We don't need more interference. And now that they're doing the one-on-one matches, I'd really like to see a couple of clean finishes. I'm not a fan of Karrion Kross interfering. If anything, Sami Zayn should win, and then Karrion Kross is pissed that Zayn actually won doing the right thing. And you could build up some heat for their match. Anyways, guys, I thought Raw was pretty good this week. I liked the show. Very unfortunate about Liv Morgan. Again, best wishes to her that it's not as severe as people are fearing. I really liked the main event. Pretty good segment with Bayley and Becky. Bill Goldberg coming back. It is what it is. I thought he did fine. I don't know if the match is going to be any good or not, but at least it'll be short. Maybe it won't. Maybe he'll surprise us and actually have a good, longer match. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm a little worried, but we'll see how it goes. I give Raw 7 out of 10. I think it was a solid episode of Monday Night Raw with a few eventful moments. And I'm looking forward to next week. I mean, they built up next week. They built up Night of Champions. They built up Saturday night's main event. They did well this week. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up on YouTube. Spread the word about the No DQ YouTube channel. Stay tuned to No DQ for the very latest wrestling news and rumors. Say yes to No DQ, and I will see you all next time.